Facility standards requires camouflage for facilities, and you'll see there's different techniques for different situations, and again, requires that co-located facilities meet the same camouflage standards. There's one example on the left is, you might have seen some antennas that look like this. Sometimes you can camouflage them in trees. The tree in the middle has antennas on it. Some of the trees surrounding that are real trees. Here are some other camouflage examples that we have. I don't think we'll see a saguaro cactus here, but I thought that one was pretty interesting, and that one's probably in Tucson or Phoenix area. We do have quite a few of these palm tree antennas. Maybe up in the Ag District or some other areas you might see a silo, but probably not. A lot are in churches or in church towers throughout the city. This one's interesting. You probably haven't noticed, but in a lot of light standards within the public right-of-way, we do have cell facilities right on the top over there. And it's a good time to point out that the ordinance requires that any facility that is in the public right-of-way has to have an encroachment agreement approved by the City Council, and they will be required to meet the findings of, some of the findings of this ordinance, the three main findings. So that's a key factor. We see these come in periodically, maybe once every 2 years or so, and this is what we do not want to see. So I put that example in also. Getting to amateur radio antennas, this is one that we approved a couple of years ago. It's in the Loma Alta neighborhood, and you can see that this one was approved. It goes off the top of the chart here, but it's at 75 feet and can be brought down to 54 feet. So we would be limiting them maybe to about this level at 36 feet. Anything above that would require a CUP, so at least you can notify the neighbors, let them know what's going on. It's very hard to camouflage these type of antennas. We do have locational siting criteria. The number one type of property we'd like to see these facilities on are city-owned or controlled properties. You typically see them with water tanks. Right now, we only allow standalone facilities on our water tank property, but not on the tank itself for security reasons. Now, I should point out the ordinance does not prohibit that, but again, after 9/11, I think we stopped doing that because of security reasons. Industrial zone districts, of course, we'd like to see them cited there. Commercial, public and semi-public zones, typically churches and other type public uses. Open space districts, as long as they don't impact sensitive habitat. Agricultural zone districts, such as up in Morrow Hills, and then residential districts are our last priority. We did go to the Planning Commission. They had a number of recommendations to the City Council. They did recommend that you adopt it tonight as an urgency ordinance, so we are recommending that you adopt it as an urgency ordinance. That means it will go into effect tonight if you do so. And the reason for that is, as you can see, we have quite a few projects pending, and we need to have them under the umbrella of this new ordinance, and that would ensure that they are good facilities. They did recommend a setback from residential zoning or residential districts, and if a standalone facility were to be sited near a residential district, it would have to be located in a fall zone away from there. That means if, let's say, the tower is 100 feet tall, if it were to fall down, it would have to be 100 feet plus an extra 10% or 110 feet away from the residential district. That's for safety purposes and probably for health reasons as well. They recommended a penalty for expired cell sites. We're recommending that we just go through the normal code enforcement, administration, remedy procedures that we have in place. And then they did recommend a reduced permit fee for amateur or ham radio operators, and if we would be coming back to you at separate hearing with a reduced fee resolution if you choose to adopt the ordinance tonight. So that would be a separate item that would come back to you. We're not sure what we would charge, probably somewhere under $1,000. In summary, the ad hoc committee, again, drafted the ordinance with a lot of input from the public and industry representatives. Telecommunications Committee recommended approval of the ordinance with one abstention in June of this year. Planning Commission, again, recommended approval with the suggestions that I just mentioned in August. And staff recommends approval as an urgency ordinance tonight and approval of the negative declaration. I should point out the Coastal Commission will need to approve a local coastal plan amendment for this ordinance to apply to areas within the coastal zone. So that's the last item that we'd have. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry. Great job. Thank you. Madam Clerk. Excuse me before you go ahead, Mr. City Attorney.
Yeah, I just wanted to make one very brief comment, and that is you'll probably get a lot of discussion tonight from the public about specific applications or specific facilities, and I did want to reiterate, well, of course you can consider any comments from the public. The council is not deciding on any specific applications. What we are deciding, that the council is deciding on, is whether to adopt rules that will be applicable to all out in the future. So if there's any questions about that, I'm here to answer them.
Thank you, sir.